Welcome to the year-end list pre-show. This video exists to simply just kinda get us ready for the, the big event. Albums of the year list and the tracks of the year list, which I will inevitably be doing in the foreseeable future. This video is essentially a compilation of lists. Mini lists. Which are all, basically this is a series of additional lists revolving around music in 2017. Yeah. What was that noise? Yeah. Okay, so what lists will be featured in this video, you ask? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. This video will be divided into 8 separate phases, 8 different sections, each section revolving around a different year-end related topic thing. Get comfy. This is going to be a long video. Get some snacks. This is going to be a long one. I should just stop talking. Let's just get straight into it. Alright, entering part 1. Overrated albums. I might add some background music in this video. I'm not totally sure. So if you hear some background music right now, if you're hearing me talking right now about me potentially adding background music, that means that I'm actually going to add background music into this video, because if I'm not going to do it, then why would I edit this part in with me, talking about adding background music? So, yeah, let's see how that turns out. Let me know if I should do it more and stuff. Part 1 is overrated albums. These are albums that I, didn't really derive the same amount of enjoyment that a lot of other people seem to with certain albums that I thought were just kind of cool. Maybe I thought they were bad. Maybe I thought they were this, they were that, whatever. But the point is, people generally perceive these albums to be really good, great, fantastic, but I just didn't really get what everyone else was saying. Me personally, I just wasn't really feeling it like that. I got this lamp just because lighting was being such a bitch. I was relying on natural lighting, and that's just really unreliable and annoying, but this lamp is bright as freak. I had it really good just a second ago. What the... No. Yeah, okay, that'll do. But yeah, I need to do a little disclaimer, a little bit of a warning. If your name is David Rowe, you may get triggered during this section. At number 10, I have... it is Buffalo from the Future. What's up? I just wanted to mention a few honorable mentions that I totally forgot to bring up during this video. First up, Brent Faiyaz with Son to Son. In my opinion, it was just kind of a pretty average, forgettable R&B album. Not really too sure why a lot of people thought this was super great, but hey man, it is what it is. It's cool. I just didn't really care for it like that. Next up is Kieran J. Calman's Bravado. I get it's a very eclectic and crazy pop project, but to me it sounded just like Corey Feldman's Angelic to the Core. It sounded just like that, and it was just kind of annoying. Next up, Richard Dawson, Peasant. To be fair, I've only given this like 1.5 listens. I barely really spent much time with it, but if I were to just judge my opinion based off of what time I have spent with this album, I don't know if it's really for me. I mean, I appreciate it, but I'm not sure if I'm really digging it like that. But I'll spend more time with it. I need to dissect the lyrics a little bit more, because I hear the storytelling is a big part of, excuse me, why people think it's so good, and I haven't really dived into that yet. Next up, it's Neil C. Siriga with Mouth Moods. I mean, it's a really well put together mashup album. It's just like, people are saying it's like one of the best albums of the year. Like, to me, this album was just like a nice little chuckle. Like, it was like a little novelty album. It was like, oh, this is some funny, well put together mashup. It wasn't like when people were putting this album like above like albums that I personally got like some really like a good experience from. It's like you're just putting this memey mashup album in front of all this shit. It's just like a little chuckle, like it was a bit of fun. Like, I mean, I get it. If they enjoyed it more, then they'll put it up higher. But in my opinion, I don't know. It seems a little bit overrated. But finally, Princess Nokia 1992 Deluxe. Yeah, I thought this was just really shit. Honestly, not really seeing why everyone's saying like one of the most exciting rap albums of the year. Like, nah. I mean, is it just because Fantano gave it an 8? People thinking this is like amazing or something? Nah. For me, I thought it was like, I only listened like a couple days ago. I thought it was just a really bland and just kind of annoying rap album. Not really into it, but yeah, that is everything. Continuing with the video, hope you enjoy. Number 10, I have Daniel Kaiser with Fruity. Daniel Caesar's Freudian. In my opinion, an incredibly generic R&B album without really much about it that is very special. He's just kind of singing about some chicks over some pretty smooth instrumentals. If that sounds like your kind of thing, go check it out. But to me, it's just kind of like a grade B, sappy version of Blonde. At number 9 is Wiley. with Godfather. Not a bad album, honestly, for what it's going for. It's pretty good, but I just personally just don't like the sound at all. The more electronic tinged sort of side of a grind music that's very just sort of obnoxious with all the synths and samples, it just doesn't really appeal to me. And lyrically, this whole thing is kind of terrible. I just didn't really dig it that much. At number 8, it is St. Vincent with Mass Seduction. This is like one of my most highly praised albums to date, critically, which is crazy. In my opinion, it's her least creative. In my opinion, production-wise, it's just the least enjoyable period. It's just kind of awkward to listen to a lot of the time. You know, lyrically, it doesn't really do much for me either. The flow of the album is really awkward. Yeah, it just didn't really have that many creative moments, in my opinion. The most creative that it got was on track 2, Pills. I thought that was quite an inventive idea, and it was sonically executed in a pretty interesting way. At number 7, it is Illness Beam with Flush. Fever Ray, you know, playing. Was that supposed to be, like, funny or something? Yeah, and in my opinion, this album's just trying way too hard to be crazy without actually being good, and it's just a really, like, experimental, crazy album, but it's not actually got the substance to really back it up, in my opinion. So yeah, it's whatever. Can this glare go away? Hold on, I need to position this lamp just right. I want to, nah. I'm being way too critical of my fucking light. I need to chill. Alright, number 6 is, yeah, Death from Above with Outrageous. Fuck! Jesus! Can this light... Okay.
2 hours later.
Just bring up... Oh, the pillow's in the way.
6 hours later.
Can we put the pillow...
3 hours later.
Can you run a line of
Yeah, there we go. Death from Above, in my opinion, came through with an incredibly average rock album that has absolutely nothing special about it whatsoever. And that's pretty much it. At number 5, it is Jalen with Black Origami. I refuse to call her Jalen because it sounds dumb and Jalen sounds cool, so I'm going with Jalen. Black Origami. This album, I don't think I listened to it for longer than 10 minutes without getting a fucking migraine. This shit is so headache-inducing, and on the surface, it seems really like experimental and daring and creative. But when you really listen to it, like, the instrumental palette is kind of barely there. It's really thin. There's not a whole lot of diversity, and the rhythms and tempos, they just get kind of stale. They kind of reuse a lot and recycle throughout the whole thing. Yeah, it's pretty annoying. I couldn't really get into it. And number 4, Fleet Foxes, Crack Up. This album seems to have no clue what it's doing, like ever. It's incredibly just directionless and meandering and dull. Sonically, the sound play and the production is very rich and lush, and I appreciate that. Very lavish, you know, it's very well detailed, and I appreciate that, but in my opinion, the songwriting, the song structures, whilst they are kind of experimental, they're just not very satisfying, and they don't really offer much replay value for me. And number 3, it is Uncommon Nassau, Written at Night. Okay, I actually listened to this album last night, just giving it one more try, and I cannot stand it, dude. I just can't stand it. Lyrically, honestly, this whole thing, there was very rarely a time where I was like, oh wow, that line was cool. Like, nothing was really standing out to me, honestly. But he's not like a bad rapper or anything. His voice, his vocal tone remains like the same the whole time, and these beats, oh my god. Billy Wood's verse at the end of the album is really good though, and the Open Mike Eagle feature was tight. And that British rapper, I think his name's Duke Zero or some shit, he was really cool. I liked him. I could have been mixing up with a different feature, but yeah, the features are the best part of this album for sure. But these beats, I can't stand them. They're terrible. I just hate these beats. They're very experimental, but they're not done in a very satisfying way to me. And yeah, it's just not for me. It's not for me. Number 2, it is Scissors. Control by SZA. Yeah, in my opinion, a pretty bland, forgettable, boring, and uncreative R&B album, in my opinion. You know, the beat, it just sounds like Bryson Tiller. It sounds just like Bryson Tiller. These beats have no flavor or character to them, and lyrically, in my opinion, it's ridiculously shallow, I think. I think and people are always hyping up the whole, like, it's like the emotional complexities of being the side chick. I get that, but I just don't really care about it, honestly. I don't think it's tackled in a way that's very engaging to me. And my number 1 favorite, no, not favorite, my number 1 pick for most overrated album of the year has got to go to Pure Comedy, man. I'm sorry, but nah. This thing is ludicrously boring. I don't think it was possible for music to be this dull. But oh my god, every track sounds the same. Every song sounds the same. And his vocal tone never changes. He's consistently really just kind of arrogant and annoying the whole time. The only track I enjoy is the 3rd track because the lyrical concept is actually kind of funny. And the instrumentation actually has some interesting shit going on. The horns on this track sound cool, and the way his voice, like, actually matches the instrumental swelling up during the second half. I thought the way it complemented each other was really cool. And I also kind of like the outro on the second last track. That's a really nice, like, instrumental outro thing. Besides that, yeah, this whole thing is complete boredom. He should have named it Pure Boredom, because that's all it is. It is so fucking... Leaving LA... That's not even getting it. Leaving LA is the most bored I've been listening to a song all year, without question. But anyway, moving on to Part 2. Worst. I have a top 30 list, and I'm just going to blitz through them. Let me just remind myself what's at number 30. At number 30, I have John Mouse with Touchdown. Not into this guy's sound at all. His whole album I just didn't enjoy. I just thought the whole thing was just fucking annoying. I just don't like the bass lines and his vocals. It doesn't match up, doesn't complement each other very well. It's just a really awkward, messy track. Touchdown was probably my least favorite from his album. But yeah, this sound is just not really for me. Number 29 is Wale with Scarface, Rose Gotti, where Wale does like the worst Travis Scott impression. Number 28 is Lil Gotti with DN Freestyle. He isn't on the fucking beat. The beat itself is annoying as shit. He sounds like a total goofball. There's nothing appealing about the song. My least favorite from Teenage Emotions, and I don't even hate Teenage Emotions like a lot of other people do. I mean, it's a bad album for sure, but I don't know, I kind of got a little bit of a soft spot for it. A little bit, but it's bad, but this is the worst track from it. At number 27, it's the Chainsmokers with Spider-Man Mind Control. I mean, something just like this. Oh, Spider-Man. Batman with his fists and Spider-Man with his control. What the f***? That will never not be funny. I'm sorry. Number 26 is All Time Low with one of the corniest fucking rock songs. It's a pop song. Really uninspired, really forgettable, really just unflinchingly not creative. It's just trying so hard to be boring, it seems. At number 25, Wiley with a Speaker Box. This song is ridiculously fucking annoying. It's so aggravating. I just don't like anything about this track. His flow is rudimentary as shit. Lyrically, it's just trite, and the beat is just blaring, and I just can't stand this song. Number 24, Logic. I was gonna put Black Spider-Man here, but I don't know, man. That Suicide track does kind of piss me off. I want to die. Hey man, I want you to be alive. You know what? I want to live, actually. Way to tackle suicide, Logic. Number 23, Macklemore. I was gonna put Marmalade, but Intentions is kind of the worst. I want to be a feminist, man, but I just can't stop watching porn. Oh my god. I want world peace so bad, but bro, I just can't stop watching that good old World Star. Like, what the fuck? Who writes this? Why did your brain tell you it was a good idea to write this shit down and, you know, perform it on a song? It wasn't a good idea. Your brain was wrong. And at the end of the song, he's just like, you know what? I'm happy with who I am. It's like, what the wait, what? Wait, what? The whole song is about bettering yourself and, you know, being who you want to be and, you know, neglecting all these distractions like porn and shit. And, you know, now, and at the end he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm happy with who I am. So nothing really got, there was no conclusion, nothing got resolved, nothing got fixed. He's just back to watching porn, he's no longer a feminist, fuck it, you know what? Macklemore is no longer, he's just, whatever, okay, it's just pointless. At number 22, Father John Misty with Leaving LA, for the reason I just stated, it's the most boring song of the year. It's 13 minutes of like the same dull-ass guitar, piano, fucking instrumental, with this dull-ass tone, just rambling about fucking nothing. It's boring. At number 21, Arcade Fire with one of the messiest, clunkiest grooves of the year with Chemistry, my personal least favorite from this album. Electric Blue does get a mention though because that song does suck. But Chemistry, I couldn't stand Chemistry. That shit is so annoying. At number 20, it is 21. So I should have put this at number 21 because it's 21 Savage. It's 21 Savage with FaceTime. He's crooning to a girl about FaceTiming her, and his singing is the worst. Oh fuck, no. FaceTime is not number 20, no. No, FaceTime gets an honorable mention, I just remembered. The 9-minute freestyle, that is on this list. That was terrible. That was terrible. Yeah, the 9-minute freestyle, that's taking FaceTime spot. Okay, last second adjustment, number 20 is the 9-minute freestyle. At number 19, Lil Pump. Of course I had to put Lil Pump on the worst songs list because, you know, he sucks. I mean, I definitely do see, you know, his appeal, 100%, like I said in my review. I was battling between two songs. I was like, okay, it's either going to be Molly or Pinky Ring, and I think there is less to enjoy about Pinky Ring, especially with that garbage Rick Ross feature, which does not fit in at all. At number 18, it is, shout out to David Rowe, actually, on this one. He put me onto this track. Show Me the Body with, You Thought What You Saw Was It. Yeah, David, you were not lying. These vocals? No! Number 17, oh fuck, I gotta talk about this one. Linkin Park with a Sorry For Now. I don't like this song at all. I hate this track. I think Mike Shinoda's singing is awful. I think the instrumental is the poppiest, the most just trying desperately hard to be commercial on the whole album. However, I don't want to spend too much time bashing it because Linkin Park, Chester's passing was probably the lowest point of the year for me. It was horrible. I mean, that really upset me because Linkin Park, they're pretty much the reason. Like, they were the first band I ever fell in love with. You know, they may be the reason I'm making these videos today. Without Linkin Park, I may not be the music buff I am right now. So, like, Chester was a huge like part of like his voice is just like. The music, like his writing, everything is all just so like impactful to me, and the fact that he had to go so soon was heartbreaking. So that was a real shame, but unfortunately I got to put him on the worst songs list because their new album was really bad. unfortunately. But yeah, Sorry for Now is the one I'm picking. Just didn't like it. Wasn't off for me. At number 16 though, I've not listened to this whole album. There is probably a song on the album worse than this. But AJR's Overture, the first track, I got like 3 tracks in. I was like, yeah, this is garbage. This was the most offensive one of the 3 in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, there probably is a worse song in there. I just can't be bothered to sit through it. At number 15, Lil Xan with Betrayed. Pussy, it tastes like Skittles. What? You can really taste the rainbow. What? Yeah, nah, I'm good. Number 14, Ariel Pink with Time to Live. Worst mixing of the year. Worst mixing of the year. It's no debate. Worst. Number 13 though is Ed Sheeran. I was contemplating between 2 tracks again. I was gonna put New Man because Bleached Asshole. What? But then I thought, you know what? Galway Girl just kind of pisses me off more. It just kind of angers me. Just hearing him rap just automatically pisses me off. Number 12 though is Lil Dicky with one of the worst hooks I think I've ever listened to. Period. Number 11 though, Taylor Swift with, I was going to put Look What You Made Me Do, but it just seemed like too much of an obvious choice, and Gorgeous does kind of piss me off a little bit more, so Gorgeous takes it. Just the overall sentiment of the track is just fucking shit. At number 10, we're in the top 10 worst songs of the year now. Number 10 is I Love McConan with Love featuring Ray Shremmerd. I think Ray Shremmerd are great. I'm a huge defender of Ray Shremmerd, but sometimes, man, they do some shit I just can't defend. Like Slim Jimmy being featured on Jake Paul's Litmus. Like, no. Like, what you doing, bro? Like, I love Slim Jimmy. Why are you doing that? Like, I love his voice. I love the energy they always come with in their tracks, but they completely botched this feature on this I Love McConan track. But the beat is this awful blend of like rock and pop rap, and then it's 4 minutes long. It's just horrible. I just hate it. And number 9 is Imagine Dragons with Thunder. No, this track. No. Number 8 though, it is Joji with Bitter Fuck. Your bitch just came all over me. Why would you write that? Number 7, Kodak Black with Feeling Like, the most hilarious chorus of the year. This chorus, the fact that it even got approved by anything is insane. He's completely off beat. Like he's not even attempting to rap on the beat. It's ridiculous. It's honestly insane. And number 6, Alice Glass. Natural Selection. Some of the worst vocals I've heard all year. This beat is just disgusting. It's like that Fever Ray album. It's just trying way too hard to be like really like edgy and weird and crazy, but it just sounds disgusting in like every way. So yeah, fuck that. Now we're in the top 5. Number 4 is Eminem. I was gonna put Heat, but Remind Me is pure prostate cancer. Now we're in the top 3. At number 3, XXXTentacion. I was gonna put Everybody Dies in Their Nightmares from his 17 album because that flow just annoys the fuck out of me. But nah, I gotta go with Looking for a Star, bro. The auto-tune is unbearable on this track. It's the worst thing ever. I don't know how the fuck anyone would think this sounds okay. And the beat is just boring. It's just terrible. It's probably the worst thing he's ever made. Number 2, I had to put him somewhere on the list. I had to. I feel like putting this guy on this list, it's just like arbitrary. Like obviously he's got to appear at some point because he's just that shit. But this song in particular, like truly fucking annoyed me. It like ticked me off. It like pissed me off. Like I was like legit like angry at this song like existing. Jake Paul with 12 Days of Christmas. He is so obnoxious on this track. It drives me insane, and the singing is so off key. But in the words of Rick the Lay, at least it isn't racist. My number 1 is of course Hobson. Happy Ending. Watching the video while listening to this, like, I was just so, like, what? Like, how is this song a real thing? Like, who the fuck thinks that this is a good idea? Like, what? I was just so, like, the most baffling thing I heard, and the most sonically disgusting thing, and the way he rhymes all over the track is horrible. It's about prostitution. It's racist as fuck. It's the worst song of the fucking year. I'll have my nutsack. Fuck yeah. Like, Hobson, stop. Just no. Anyway, that's the worst songs list. Moving on to part 3. Worst albums. Hell yeah, right after the worst songs, we got the worst albums of the year. Oh fuck! I have to make some changes to this list real quick. I just remember I did take some notes. Where's my phone? Shit, I did take some notes of some other albums I had to add to this list I totally forgot about. But oh man. It's nowhere. What the fuck? Give me a minute. Just give me a sec. Hold on. Let me just... Wow, what the fuck have I done with it? Well, this is just great. This is just fucking wonderful. Let me just... Oh, I think I found it. Oh no, that's my wallet. Jesus. What the hell have I done with it?
12 seconds later.
What? It's right here. This must have fell down the side or some shit. Alright, let me make these changes. Yeah, okay.
3 weeks later.
Done. Alright, so, list is updated. I got a top 20 list right here. Top 20. A few honorable mentions. AJR's The Clear, because again, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but it seemed pretty fucking terrible. And Joji with the Ing Tongues EP. That shit was pretty bad, but it didn't quite make the list. Number 20. Hello again. It's Buffalo from the future, yet again, to give 2 more honorable mentions that I totally forgot about because, you know, I'm stupid. However, the difference is with these honorable mentions I'm about to give, they would have absolutely made the list. 1000% would have made the list if I had remembered. These aren't just like albums that like weren't quite bad enough to make the list. These were like, you know, they would have 100% made it if I had remembered them. One of them is an EP, and that would be Jake Paul with the Litmus EP. This would have cracked the top 3, bro. this is terrible. Yeah, top 3 for sure, top 3. But the other album, this one is an actual album. This, I can't believe I forgot about this. Taylor Swift Reputation. I think there are 2 reasons I forgot about this. One is because the idea of blocking this album from my memory just forever is just too appealing to not do. I mean, that's kind of pretty much it. That's pretty much the only reason. Yeah, I would have absolutely added this. I just forgot about it for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why I forgot about it. I don't know how it slipped my mind because it was pretty awful. I totally stand by my 0 out of 10 that I gave it because, yeah, I dislike everything on this album. Not 1 ounce of enjoyment, in my humble opinion, unfortunately. So that would have made the list, but yeah, whatever. Enjoy the top 20. So yeah, let's continue with the video. At number 20, Wale with Shine. Generic house pop rap. It's just fucking terrible in every way, honestly. There's nothing really good about it. Number 19 is G-Eazy's Beautiful and Down. Same kind of thing. It's just completely just flat. Like, it's just bad, like, the whole time. Never really like a grand, amazing moment. It's just kind of shit. Number 18, All Time Low. Last Year Renegade, their poppiest album. It's just boring as fuck and just really lazy and just not enjoyable remotely. 17, Arcade Fire with Everything Now. A true disappointment. Really wish they just didn't do this. Number 16, Hobson with No Shame. Yeah, Happy Ending just kind of makes this list alone. But yeah, it's pretty corny and awful the whole way through. And the fact that he calls himself like he's the only MC in this whack genre, like, shut the fuck. Number 15 is Faith Evans and the Notorious B.I.G. with The King and I. Like, how tasteless can a tribute album be? Like, just let the guy rest in peace, for God's sake. Number 14 is DJ Khaled's Grateful. It's 23 tracks. No. Number 13, Ed Sheeran with Starbucks the album. Yeah, need I say more? It's really awkwardly written, and his singing is just so flimsy and just powerless. I mean, instrumentals are just blank. There's nothing good about it. Number 12, though, XXXTentacion with that Revenge tape he had. Shit is absolute garbage. It's terrible, it's cringy, it's awful, but it actually has, like, sprinkles of what makes X appealing, I guess, which is the, you know, distorted, like, aggression and stuff, which another project he had this year didn't really have any of that, and it was just completely cringy the whole way through. We'll get to that in a minute. At number 11, though, we have the Hobson of folk rock. Father John Misty. Yeah, I hated it. I thought it was terrible, and it definitely gets a spot on this list. Just the boredom alone. Like, boredom, at times, it can be worse than hating an album. Like, thinking, oh my god, this is annoying, it can sometimes be better than thinking, oh my god, this is boring. You know what I mean? Because boring, you're getting no reaction. It's just pure boredom. So that kind of sucks. At number 10, we're in the top 10? Fuck. One More Light by Linkin Park. Such a shame that they had to end off on this one. Are they like done now, though, because of the whole Chester passing, or are they gonna continue making music? Because Chester was sort of like the face of the band, so it feels kind of weird if they will, but who knows, maybe they have some ideas or something they want to get off their chest. Maybe make like an album sort of commemorating Chester. I don't fucking know. But yeah, this album was not enjoyable at all. It was pretty awful, unfortunately. But at number 9, I have the Chainsmokers with Memories. Do Not Open, the most just commercial, just like bottom, like common denominator, lowest common denominator, just bland pop EDM shit. Why just the Chainsmokers? You already know why they suck. A million people have said it already. What impact will I have saying it again? At number 8, though, it is XXXTentacion again with 17. It's the other project he released that sucks. Shit is stupidly boring, ridiculously cringy, and trying way too hard to be woke and edgy. The opening track still cracks me up, though. I especially love the part where he says 17 is the number tattooed on my forehead, soon to be explained in interviews and like soon to be explained in future interviews. Like, okay, cool. So awkward and out of place. It's just cracks me. Number 7, though, is Nav and Metro Boomin with Perfect Timing. Nav might be my least favorite rapper ever. He just pisses me off. Just everything about him annoys the fuck out of me. He's just so fucking boring. At number 6, John Mouse with Scream Memories. Again, I just got nothing from it. It's like the Father John Misty. It's just boring, annoying all the way through. To me, I have seen people praise this album, much like the Pure Comedy as well. People love Pure Comedy. People love this album. It's just not for me. It's just not my type of thing. So I have to put it on here because I just enjoyed it that little. It beats out all these other albums for me. At number 4, I have Playboy Carti, which is completely boring and in no way creative at all. Just completely shit. Mixtape, self-titled Playboy Carti, and yeah, this motherfucker's first word was probably dude just raps ad-libs constantly, and it's annoying. Now we're in the top 3. At number 3, oh my god, Troy Ave with a New Park. No, you're not the new. There is a track on here, a single track on this album, that is 30 plus minutes long. Number 2 is kind of cheating because it's not an album, it's an EP, but it was one of the most excruciating listens I've had all year, and I've heard it numerous times since my review actually, and every time I hear it, it gets more annoying. Alice Glass with her self-titled Nothing About This Is Appealing. This is just trying way too hard to be experimental and crazy without coming through with any substance. It's just fucking annoying. But my number 1 has to go to Eminem for Revival. And in the words of David Rowe, if my 13-year-old self, if he saw me give this album number 1 worst of the year, I would just be sat in a corner just contemplating what happens to me in the future. Like, who do I become? I'll be like that because I used to love Eminem. I still love Eminem. I love Marsh Mathers LP and Eminem Show and Relapse to a degree. Slim Shady LP. Like, I love all that shit. Like, I think there is some great Eminem material. He holds a special place in my heart. You know, very nostalgic for me. This album, I just got to be honest. There was not a single album this year that had me with my hands on my head in just pure shame more so than Revival. Like, this was the album that just pissed me off the most this year. I was just so angry at what I was listening to. More so with this album than any other release in 2017, so Revival gets the number 1 for me. But yeah, moving on to part 4. Guilty Pleasures in 2017. This is going to be a short segment. It's not going to be quite as long as the other one. These are some tracks that people don't like, that are pretty objectively terrible, but hey man, I kind of like it. Swang is great. I'm sorry. Swang is amazing. I love this fucking song so much. I think it is great. But then again, Ray Shremmerd is my shit, man. I do not get the hate for Ray Shremmerd. I will never understand. Would you rather listen to, like, Kodak Black or someone who sounds like they're asleep? Or would you rather get fucking hyped? That's the thing with Ray Shremmerd. That's what makes them great, okay? They come through with the energy that matches the production, and it sounds like they're having fun. You can feel the fun. Like, then you have to have the best lyrics. Their lyrics are often hilarious, too. Don't call my phone asking can we start over. You interrupted me count my money. I had to start over. I think they got some funny bars, honestly. And yeah, some people don't like their voices. I fucking love it. Sway Lee's melodies are wonderful, and his vocal range is quite impressive, and Slim Jimmy's just growl that he has, it just gets me fucking going. And yeah, Swang, total banger. I love this track. Next up I got Ugly God with Stop Smoking Black and Miles. The way he is just roasting this chick. This track is him just basically just tearing apart some chick, just some woman, and he's just roasting her, and it's just kind of fucking fun. Next up, I have Bad Baby. Every song she kind of came out with this year, except for that latest one, which is just the worst thing ever, has been a pretty big guilty pleasure of mine this year. Her voice is it's a combination. My friend Joe, he put it best. It's a combination of sounding like you're really stupid, plus with just this who gives a fuck personality. You know, it's like ridiculous confidence mixed with low intelligence. That is sort of her music, really. Like, she just clearly gives not one shit, and that just shines through in her vocal performance. The beats, they're just kind of generic trap beats, and she's just kind of yelling, and it's just kind of catchy, and it's not good, but I kind of like it. Next up it is Iced Out Chain. Lil Pump's mixtape was bad. I still kind of stand by the majority of what I said in my review, but this track, as well as Smoke My Dope, as well as Crazy, are the 3 songs from the tape that I am able to find some enjoyment from. Some admittedly unironic enjoyment. They're just fun. They're catchy, they're fun, he's hype as shit, the beats are great, it's just, they're fun. The rest is exactly what you would expect, just kind of generic and boring. And the mixtape overall is just fucking annoying, just hearing him repeat the same shit with his yelpy voice. And the only 3 tracks where this works for me, where the sound of his works for me, is on Iced Out, Crazy, and Smoke My Dope, so there you go. Now I gotta mention Lil Yachty. Like I said before, I don't hate Teenage Emotions, and that's mainly because of these 3 songs. Of course, Peekaboo. I've always liked Peekaboo. I've never disliked. I love the instrumental. I think people shit on the instrumental way too much. I can't tell if he's sampling Sampha or not. It sounds like he's sampling Sampha. I think the beat is cool, and I think all of the verses are solid. All the verses are great. And the blow your dick like a cello line, come on, bro. That shit is funny. I actually thought it was intentional, like he intentionally said cello, because it wasn't, you know, an instrument that needs to be blown. Like, he knew it, but apparently he didn't actually know what a cello was. Which, in my opinion, makes it even funnier. And all the Migos, I think they're all pretty solid on this track. I don't think it's a bad song at all. And the hook, it's kind of gross, but you know what, it's catchy, so fuck it. And the other 2 tracks from his album I need to mention, X-Men, that shit is so hard, I don't give a fuck. And Lady in Yellow, I've always thought Lady in Yellow is awesome. I just love the atmosphere it creates. The beat from Wonder Girl perfectly matches Lil Yachty's voice, and there's loads of just catchy, howling refrains. I just wanna fuck on you. I've always enjoyed that song, I can't lie. And my final I was gonna say honorable mention. No, my final guilty pleasure is kind of 2 artists in one. Kamiyada and Scarlett. These guys make really cringy music. It's very like trying way too hard to be edgy type shit, but it's kind of fun. If I'm in the right mood, I can get down with some Scarlett because it's like that XXX Tentacion kind of thing where he's just screaming over some distorted bass, and you know, I can't knock the amount of passion going into his performance, even if it is really cringy what he's saying. And there have been times where I've appreciated the beats that these guys choose as well, being pretty fucking creative and hard as fuck. So yeah, those are some good places. These are not good songs. None of these tracks I've listed here are good objectively, except for Swang. Not remotely guilty about that one, but the rest of these, they're not very good. But I like them. But yeah, moving on to part 5, we have a fun one. Best of 2017. I'm gonna just blitz through them. I don't even need to spend time on each one. Number 20, Mogwai with Every Country's Son. I like this one. And number 19, Lord with Melodrama. That shit is really nicely illustrated. I like that cover. Number 18, Everything, A Fever Dream. I don't really know what's going on, but I like it. I think the text, the font used works well with the cover too. Number 17, of course, is Tyler, the Creator, with that Flower Boy cover. That shit looks gorgeous. Number 16 is Flotation Toy Warnings, The Machine That Made Us, an album I've only heard 2 songs from. I thought they were pretty solid. I gotta check out the rest sometime, but I like this cover a lot. The elephant, it looks really sick to me. I like the aesthetic. Number 15 is Do Make Say Things, Stubborn Persistent Illusions. It just looks really just artistic and lavish and nice. I'm a fan of this cover. At number 14 is Feist, with that pleasure cover artwork. It just looks really just happy and just enjoyable. I enjoy it. At number 13 it is Lunis with 360 or CCCLX or whatever you want to call it. It just looks really sleek and murky and dark. I fuck with it. Number 12 is Kamasi Washington's Harmony of Difference EP, that like brown sort of tree thing. Number 11 is Brand New's Science Fiction with those people like jumping down. I just like the way it's like still and it's not blurry or anything. It's just really just like clean. I like that. Number 10 in the top 10 now, Known Unknowns by Billy Woods. A really nice cover right here, man. I mean, I wasn't crazy about this album. It wasn't bad. I wasn't crazy about it or anything, but this cover, I like it. A lot of little details going on here. It was pretty nicely put together in my opinion. At number 9, Chelsea Wolfe, His Spun. Very chilling cover. She's all hunched over like a goblin in the corner, and it looks evil, and I like it. Number 8, Open Mike Eagle with Brick Body, Kids Still Daydream. This cover, I mean, I thought it looked cool at first, but now that I've heard the album and I know the context, it just perfectly plays into the concept of the album as well, which makes it even cooler for me. At number 7, though, King Gizzard and a Lizard Wizard with Polygon Dwellaland. There's a lot of little details on this cover, like the track titles are sort of lit throughout in really little subtle positions. You kind of got to zoom in and really search for all the little things. There's a lot going on here, and I like covers where there's like a lot going on. Number 6, though, is a cover that just makes me feel happy. It's nothing really particularly special about it, but it just looks really nice to me. And that's The World is a Beautiful Place, and I'm No Longer Afraid to Die with their Always Foreign album. I like that cover a lot. It looks pretty nice. Number 5, though, in the top 5 now, Thundercats Drunk. This album cover just makes me smile. It just looks really sick. The way it's shot is just cool. I think he's smiling. If you look closely, it looks like he's really evilly smiling under that wall. At number 4, though, it is an album I've yet to listen to, but it looks really cool. And I like the last album that this artist released. It came out last year, I think, and it was really good, but I've not checked this one out, but I want to check it out at some point. It is called The Kid by Caitlin Aurelia Smith. Now, this cover just looks sick. The purple, the dark purple aesthetic of it, it just looks fucking cool. At number 3, an album that kind of sucks. Honestly, if I could go back, I'd probably give it a more negative review. Logic, everybody. It's a great cover though, honestly. I loved it. There's a lot going on in this cover. It looks pretty fucking dope. A lot of little cameos and appearances from people. If you look closely, you can notice some familiar faces. And I enjoy covers like that. I think that's pretty cool. At number 2 though, Daniel Caesar with Freudian. This cover just looks fucking epic. Like, it just looks so sick. I want to walk up there. That looks cool. The sunlight and everything, it looks fucking awesome. But the fact that this is my number 1 is hilarious. My number 1 favorite cover of the year, it's pure comedy. The cover's so good. I can't even lie. It makes me want to love the album, but then I hear it and I'm like, yeah, no. It pisses me off that this is the album that I think has the best cover this year, and it's just such a sick cover. Like, there's so much going on. It's so cool. And the alternate covers with the rainbow and the orange background, that's just fucking tight. It made me want to buy the CD. I just look at it, I was like, I just want to buy that. I hate this album, but why? I just want to buy it. It just looks cool. And I watched the Father John Misty unboxing of the vinyl, and the packaging is fucking crazy. Like, yeah, when it comes to the design of the cover and the visual side of things and the packaging and that side, like the marketing and all that shit, they killed it with pure comedy, but musically it's just really not for me. But yeah, I love this cover. Moving on to part 6. The best EPs of the year. I got 5. I got a top 5. This is going to be pretty easy. I'm going to just blaze through it. Fuck it. Lapalux with The End of Industry. Guess who's back? It's me, motherfucker. Future Buffalo. Back from the future to preach that good gospel about some EPs that my stupid ass totally forgot to mention yet again. These are EPs that would have definitely made... Honestly, I could have done top 10. I could have done top 10, honestly. I have 5 EPs to talk about here. It's a top 5 list you're about to see. I could have done top 10, but I totally forgot about these releases. My mistake. First off, Death Grips. I totally forgot Death Grips. I'm fucking stupid. I'm sorry, man, I messed up. This would have probably made like number 5, I think. This probably would have made number 5. And the other one that would have made the list for sure, the top 5 that is Mick Jenkins, or more, The Anxious. This EP was awesome. I fucking loved it. Probably would have made the top 3. But yeah, I got 3 EPs that I just wanted to mention because they're good projects that I enjoyed this year. And then, you know, they wouldn't have made the top 5, but they're just honorable mentions. Poor White Danny Brown, Accelerator. It's only 2 tracks. They don't really stick with me like that, but they were 2 pretty damn good tracks. Next up is Lil Atrocity. I can't lie, man. I had a lot of fun listening to this. And you know what, fuck it, I'll mention his other EP here. That was also fucking hilarious. Yeah, shout out to Rat Villainy, shout out to, I believe his name is Evan. He's the man. This shit was funny. So yeah, shout out to you, man. Finally, Denzel Curry with 13. Yeah, really good EP. Didn't make the list, but yeah, it was cool. And I'm kind of hoping his next album, Taboo, whenever it does come out, follows suit with this style, because this is a cool sound for him. I like this direction. It works for Denzel Curry. So yeah, damn good EP. Anyway, that's me done. Continuing with the video. I'm gonna just blaze through it, fuck it. Lapalux with The End of Industry at number 5, pretty cool experimental electronic EP that I enjoy quite a bit. Number 4, Injury Reserve with Drive It Like It's Stolen. They're back again with another solid set of tracks, some hard fucking bangers, and their darkest material to date. At number 3, Damone Tyrell with 5 Story. A conceptual EP with some lovely beats and some really just compelling, captivating, and just heartwarming rapping from Damone Tyrell. I really find his voice and his way with words super compelling. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the future. At number 2, Kamasi Washington with Harmony of Difference, a really nice, easily consumable package, which is a nice contrast from the Epic, which was much more daunting. This is a little bit more easy to digest. 6 tracks and some lovely jazz music. But my number 1 EP of the year, and I was kind of confused at whether or not this was an EP at first. I thought maybe it's an album, maybe not. I wasn't really too sure, but I think it's an EP. Nick at Night. I fucking love this EP. I think it's great. I think it's really, really fun. And yeah, I really hope these guys make it like a full-length album together because they're a sick duo. There are some serious bangers on this thing. And their rapping is just excellent. They have amazing chemistry. The beats from Kirk Knight are stellar. It's probably one of my favorite pro-era releases to date. I think it's really good. And I'm surprised it didn't really get as much hype as I would have wished it did. A lot of people were kind of complaining it's just kind of more of the same kind of pro-era sound, which I can understand, but I just think it's executed super well. I just don't really mind. I think it's actually slightly more aggressive than your average pro-era album as well. It's a pretty hard fucking EP. But yeah, this is definitely my EP of the year for sure. Yeah, moving on to part 7. It is honorable mentions for my albums of the year list. So these are some albums that did not quite make my top 50 list, which I will eventually be putting up on YouTube soon. And these are just honorable mentions, just albums that did not quite make the cut for that list. I got Fortet's New Energy, enjoyed this very relaxing project, but didn't quite make my albums of the year list. And all these albums were considered for the list, by the way. These are all albums that I did think maybe I should put it on there. Like these are all albums that I considered. Like, so I'm not just going to put on an album that was good, but I didn't even consider for it for the list, because these are all albums that at one point they were either in consideration for the list, or they were at one point on the list before I eventually took them off. Yeah, Fortet's New Energy is the first one. Grizzly Bear's Painted Ruin. Duckworth with an Extra Ugly mixtape. I just checked this thing out really recently, and this shit fucking slaps. It's really fun. It's a cool mixtape. I've not really given it much time, but I'm really enjoying it. It could eventually grow on me and end up on the list in the future. Alex Cameron's Force Witness. Just checked it out, and it's really good. I need to spend more time with it, but yeah, it's a little bit too early for me to call it like one of my favorites of the year. I just listened to it, and it's fun, it's fast-paced, it's catchy, it's enjoyable, it's witty, and yeah, I'm digging it. I think it's pretty good. I'm looking forward to spending more time. Hey, Future Buffalo back in this bitch to let you know something pretty interesting. Yeah, that Alex Cameron album that I just talked about just now, it's so good. It's like fucking awesome. What the hell? I completely been sleeping on it all year. I've like just given it a decent amount of time, and honestly, bro, honestly, it would have totally made the list, man. Let me tell you, bro, if I could go back in time, re-record the, I mean, I guess technically I could re-record the list again and then just edit that like now, but I mean, fuck that. It's catchy as fuck. The second track in particular, Country Figs. Holy shit, that song is so good. Love the horns all over the album. His voice is great. Lyrics are funny. That track with Angel Olsen, that shit is dope as fuck. It's a great album. That's all I wanted to say. On with the video then. Next up I have King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard with a Flying Mercantile Banana, their first album they released this year. Roy Blair with Cat Heaven. I listened to this a couple times, and it's actually super nice and charming and really personal and beautiful at times. His voice can be a little bit nasally, a little bit pop-punky, and that kind of annoys me at times. But instrumentally, it's pretty solid. I believe Ramil from Brockhampton actually produced a couple of these tracks, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, overall, it's not a bad album. It has a bit of an emo influence at times. It is pretty solid, but it didn't quite make the list at number... No, not numbered. These are not numbered. What am I talking about? Next up, it is Moses Sumney with Aromanticism. His voice could be a little bit screechy at times. That kind of bugs me, but... And this album can be a little bit sappy too at times, but the way it tackles loneliness and isolation is really powerful, and his voice, when it wants to be, can be stunning. So, props for this album. Did enjoy it. Next up is Dirty Projectors with the self-titled, very glitchy, crazy breakup album. Next up, it is 21 Savage, Offset, and Metro Boomin with Without Warning. This grew on me like crazy. What the fuck? I initially just dismissed it like, yeah, some generic trap, whatever, but nah. This is kind of good. 21, honestly, I'm kind of becoming a 21 Savage. After that, it is Gucci Mane, Drop Top Wop, a pretty consistent, fun mixtape from Gucci, and Metro's beats on this thing are pretty awesome too. Ben Frost with The Center Cannot Hold, a really awesome, just aggressive, just pummeling electronic album. This ambient, just noise, just experimental electronic. This is a really fucking awesome journey. I just haven't really spent much time with it, so I can't really put it on the list because it's a little bit too early for that. But yeah, NERD is up next with the No One Ever Really Dies album that I thought was pretty sweet. Jay-Z with 444 up next, and finally Young Dolph with Thinking Out Loud. Some catchy ass trap bangers on this thing. Every time I hear it, it grows on me, but did not quite make the list. Okay, so yeah, now it's time for the final phase of this monstrous video. Honorable mentions again, but this time for songs. These are songs that I really like, that came out this year. Didn't quite make my top 100, which will be coming out soon. My top 100 tracks of the year. These songs are great, didn't quite make the list, so let's just go. Ooh, hey, it's me again. I'm going to talk about some songs I totally forgot to mention. And while I'm here, while I'm talking right now, let me just say that Shoo Shoo's Forget. I just remembered right now that album exists, and that would have made the top 10 overrated albums, by the way. But yeah, moving on from there. Kesha's Praying, really awesome ballad. Earth Gang featuring Jid, Meditate. Smino with Netflix and Duce, and DJ Shadow with The Horror Show. You know, actually, you know what? Fuck it. I am going to mention. I don't even give a fuck. I don't even give one shit. I am mentioning right here, Flip a Brick by Lil Trust Me. Yeah, that's me done. This will be the last time I appear in this video. Yeah, cool. Bye. First up, Snow Allegra with You Got Me and Out of Your Way. Great R&B pop type shit. It's really catchy, especially You Got Me, but Out of Your Way is more slow and Smooth, but both tracks are really nice. Next up, I have Brockhampton with a whole bunch of songs. I had to limit my... I limited the number of picks for Brockhampton songs in the list to 4. I figured they dropped 3 albums this year. I'll have 1 song for each album and then an additional bonus. So in my top 100, there are 4 Brockhampton songs. However, I would like to honorably mention 4 other songs that were in consideration for the list. Bleach, Queer, Gold, and Chick. All great tracks, especially Chick. Chick came the closest. Chick was the closest one. I don't give a fuck about you or your screen name. I'll be a star even if I say the same thing. Cause these same things keep me on the wavelength. I drop another verse and you gon' have to pay. Chick honestly has arguably my favorite outro of the year as well, so it kind of sucks I didn't really quite make the cut, but I'm quite happy with the list I have, and it gets a mention. Yeah, next up is Fortet with SW99SL. Lovely song, really great groove on this track, some good progressions too. Kendrick Lamar with Duckworth, amazing storytelling, but I had to swap it out for another song. But Duckworth is still sick. This is not numbered, I keep saying numbered. Next up, Tyler Creator with November, awesome track, one of my favorites from Flower Boy. Next up it is Drake with Free Smoke, hey, Free Smoke. Yeah, I love Free Smoke. I think Free Smoke's one of his best songs. I just love the way he's rapping on this track, and the beat is just fucking hard. It's a simple track, it's a very straightforward, simple song, but I've always thought it was really good, so yeah, here it is. Next up is the Underachievers with Gotham Knights. This beat, oh my god, this beat. Next up, it is Stormzy. I rap first things first, I've been putting in the... I'm a ripper with the cause, You know, the first track from his new album, Gang Signs of Prayer. My favorite track from Gang Signs of Prayer. He had some gems on there. It wasn't a great album, but Return of the Rucksack and Mr. Skang and Big for Your Boots and this track. He had a few highlights, so you know, props there, but yeah, didn't quite make the list unfortunately, so it gets a mention here instead. Next up it is Blank Mass with Racist Negative, a pretty amazing 9-minute long monster of an electronic track that I did really like, but didn't quite make the list again. Next up I have 2 Chainz. Oh, gee, Kush Gang. Oh, gee, Kush Gang. That song gets a mention, as well as Down on Me. I'm not walking little. Blue Cheese is awesome. OG Kush Diet is awesome. Both of which great. Not on the list, unfortunately. Next up, I have The War on Drugs with the song Pain. I actually do really like Pain from their new album. Wasn't crazy about the new album, but Pain, that song's pretty tight. Next up is King Cruel. Amazing track, an awesome single from his new album. Love the fucking song. I love the amazing just imagery it creates, and his vocals, the guitar solo that comes in that, and that sax at the end is amazing. This track unfortunately didn't quite make the cut. Also, I have to give a mention to the title track from his new album, The Ooze, the song The Ooze. One of the most powerful songs on his album, but it's very like heavy hitting and slow and powerful and really personal. It's not the kind of track you would really replay much, so didn't quite make the cut for me. Next up, it is Christian Scott Atunde Adjua. The songs No Love and Diaspora. Shout out to Christian Scott. The dude has been on a roll this year, dropping like 3 albums, and they were all pretty solid jazz records, so check them out if you're a jazz fan. They're all pretty decent. My favorite of which was the second one, Diaspora, and these 2 tracks were from that album, and they are really fucking great. No Love being more of like a smooth, jazzy track, and whereas Diaspora having more of a catchy sort of groove to it. St. John Hawk is up next with the song Nail Gun, a very creative, just a really interesting idea for an EDM song. It has like this these 808 kicks that just kind of like, you know, skitter from the left to your right or the right to your left. You hear like this little voice to the left to the right, and then you hear these like kicks just like go from one side to the other. It's really cool, and I enjoyed it, but not my favorite track on this album. Another track kind of took its spot on the list, unfortunately, but still Nail Gun is fucking tight. Next up it is Lil Yachty with Lady in Yellow. I really like Lady in Yellow. Little Miss Lady in the Yellow. Hello. This is cool. I just enjoy it. Next up, Japanese Breakfast with the opening track on her new album, Soft Sounds from Another Planet. Living Woman. Beautiful intro, mesmerizing intro. It is gorgeous. Next up, it is Vic Mensa with Heaven on Earth. Love the storytelling here. One of my favorite Vic Mensa tracks. Next up, it is Big Crit with I Gotta Get Away from the Bullshit There. One of my favorites from his new album. It nearly made the list, but not quite, unfortunately, not quite, but still one of my favorites from his new album. Awesome chorus, and it's a great ending to the first disc. That sample is so beautiful, and those strings too. Next up, it is Nick at Night. Total fucking banger. Love the sample and the hook of this track. It's just a wild song that I really enjoy. Next up, it is Jid with Louder, final track on his latest release, The Never Story. Some really amazing flows, some brilliant lines on this thing, some of his best rapping today, some of the best rapping on his new album, period. Next up, it is Perfume Genius with Slip Away. Excellent song, haven't really replayed it that much, so unfortunately didn't quite make the list, but it's still a really awesome track from his latest release, No Shade. Next up, I have Sampha with Reverse Faults, and Cora sings two awesome cuts from Process that I highly recommend checking out, especially Reverse Faults, man. That chorus. Layla is up next with the songs Frontline and Truth or Dare. Really awesome, sexy, smooth R&B songs from her new album, Take Me Apart. Next up, it is Talib Kweli with Traveling Light, featuring Anderson .Paak. Anderson .Paak destroys this chorus, and the beat from Kaytranada is so sick. It's super smooth and soulful, not quite as electronically tinged like some of his other beats are. This is way more just sort of jazzy and just groovy. It's really nice. Talib Kweli just completely kills the verses. It's a damn great track. Harry Styles is up next with Just Let Me Know I'll Be at the Door. Sign of the Times is great, but I'm sorry, Meet Me in the Hallway. Fine. And finally, the final honorable mention is Bjork with The Gate. Arca's production is so spacious and so creepy. I just love it, and the atmosphere it creates. And Bjork's howling vocals are gorgeous. Excellent cut from her new album, Utopia. And that concludes this video. Except it doesn't. There's one more additional part to this video, because yeah, this year has been great. So I'm going to add an additional Part 9. Thank you, shout out section. I just want to say thanks. I just want to say thanks. This year has been wonderful. I've had a really nice year this year, and here's the thing, right? Like, this year there has been a weird evolution in the YouTube music reviewing landscape. Like, I've been making YouTube videos since I was like 10, like since like 2010, 2011, like when I was super young. But then I was making like gameplay videos, like let's plays and shit. But it was only until 2014 to where I started making music related, you know, content, like reviews and shit. I started 2014, right? But this year in particular has been weird. There's just been this weird little surge in music reviewers, like with No Row Music and Rewind Reviews and Brad Taste of Music and David Rowe and all these, and Rick Delay and all these dudes coming out, Rat Villainy, like a whole bunch of music reviewers have seemed to have sort of kind of come out of the ether this year, or just kind of broke out this year. And it's just sort of created this really cool community, and I've really enjoyed being a part of it this year. It's just been super fun. The fact that we like reference each other in our videos and shit, it's just fucking tight. Like, shout out to all of you guys. Like, it's just been so fucking sick this year. Just making videos has never been more fun than it has been this year, just with all the discussion in the comments and opinions, and everyone's super respectful and just friendly. It's just been really great. Shout out to Brad Taste of Music, shout out to David Rowe, Rick Delay, Ryan Leith, Rat Villainy, Rewind Reviews, and fucking everyone. Like, shit. The people that frequently comment and have subscribed to me. Shout out to Nolan, Baldwin. I'm really sorry I've not reviewed your album yet. I really want to. I know I said I would, and I will get around to it, I promise. But yeah, just these year-end list videos, they take up a lot of time, so please bear with me. But yeah, Chris Sayago, you're the man. I hope I pronounced your second name right. If I didn't, I humbly apologize. But yeah, your insight and your recommendations are really unique and refreshing to hear. I always like it when you comment. Thank you for sticking around. Fungolius, your comments are weird as fuck. They're really funny. Like, your comment on my review for Utopia. What? I didn't get it, but I laughed anyway. It's just like, what? Yeah, thank you for watching my shit, man. I appreciate that, dude. Noah Farah, you're the best, dude. Something about your comments always come off just so positive. It's just, I don't know why. It's just cool. Thank you for commenting, man. Polls, gotta shout you out. What happened to your YouTube channel, by the way? You stopped making YouTube reviews. I remember you were doing YouTube reviews, and they were pretty cool. They were pretty fun to watch. You had those fucking goggles and shit. That was funny. But regardless, you've still been consistently keeping up with my channel, and I appreciate that. Your comments crack me up every fucking time. Like the one you did on my Lil Pump review. Hilarious. Oh yeah, I gotta mention the guys over in the Twitch community. If you've come to my Twitch streams, I've been doing Twitch streams this year occasionally. That's been really fun. I want to do that more in 2018. But if you've come by, it's always been a good laugh seeing everyone there. We've been talking about music and shit and just chilling, playing some games, just chilling out. It's been really lovely. And the guys from the Jeremy community, the Gamer 2323 YouTuber who streams, yeah, him, yeah, he has like a Twitch community, and the guys who have discovered my channel through his Twitch streams, like CJN and Casual23 and Darkest, and those guys who have commented and like left some opinions, and Jeremy as well himself, he's left some comments too. Like, thank all of you guys. It's just been fucking awesome this year, and I really think all of you guys have in some way contributed towards this year just being so good for me. I've just had such a nice time listening to music and reviewing music and just being a part of this community. It's just been really sick this year, and I can't wait to see how it blossoms in 2018. So yeah, thanks for the good laughs and shit. Ryan, I got a pretty awesome reaction. Yeah, thanks for all the good laughs and shit. It's just been a blast. And I released an album this year as well, which is crazy. Yeah, I haven't actually really promoted that at all on my YouTube channel, but yeah, I actually have an album out on Spotify. It's nothing crazy. I just made it for fun. It's called Gridlock, and I released it under the name B Staple. Shout out to Ryan Leith and David Rowe as well for that, actually like reviewing the album. But they actually reviewed it on their channel, which is crazy. And that whole thing with the the King Gizzard intro that I spoofed and the reaction videos to your lists, and it's just been fucking awesome, man. I've just had such a good time making videos this year, and I just wanted to say thanks. And I'm looking forward to 2018. I want everyone to prosper making videos next year. I hope we all get 1 million subscribers or something. That'd be pretty fucking dope, right? I mean, that'd be pretty fucking cool. And all the collab videos I've done, like the podcast with Rewind Reviews, and like I'm just surprised, I mean, sometimes there are times where I feel like my videos are like the worst. But there are times I think I'm really annoying and I'm just not funny and I'm really arrogant and I just piss myself off sometimes. Like I'm trying too hard to be funny with all the dumb edits and shit. Like that podcast I did with Rewind Reviews, I'm happy with it, but there are times where I was rewatching it and I was just thinking, man, I'm coming off like a total dick right now and shit like that. So I'm just really humbled that everyone stuck around and left comments and consistently kept up with the channel. It really is really reassuring and awesome. So yeah, thank you. So anyway, yeah, but for real, thank you, Pot. Out the way. That's the end of the pre-show. Looking forward to putting out the lists. Let's go. Bye. Fucking finally. Dude. That was so long. Oh my god. Oh my god. All day. Editing all day. Today. Yesterday. All day. But it's done. Oh, fuck. Oh, god. Oh, true. Oh, fuck. Oh, sorry. Fuck. Fuck. I forgot Chris Brown. I forgot Chris Brown!